good evening, good afternoon, depending on what time you're watching us. My name is Ivana Waweru, and you are watching the Chwo talk show or the Chwo podcast. And what is the Chwo? If you're new here, the Chwo is talking and healing childhood wounds. So the T stands for talking, the HE stands for healing, the W, the CH stands for childhood, and the WO stands for wounds. And this is what we are doing. We are talking and healing about childhood wounds and making sure we are doing it in a way that hurts nobody. It doesn't shame anybody. We are not venting about parents. We are parents and we are also children. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy your time here. So on our last episode, we talked about why Chwo, why the Chwo. And I told you it's because I have a passion for working with children, and I also really feel the pain of children and parent disconnect. So why again? That's the other question. I want just to explain to you why. So when I was 18, I got pregnant. Yes, I got pregnant. Imagine being 18 and pregnant. And you wonder, okay, some people ask, what was wrong with this child? Watoto wa siku hizi, what's going on? How do you get pregnant at 18? What were you thinking? But the truth is, being an only child, having a single mom who was very harsh. I told you she was very goal-oriented. She was into the thick, narrow, straight line, And me, I'm there, like an emotional girl. So my emotions are just hanging somewhere. And when I got into relationships, I think at 17 or 16, that's where I felt the love. The love and support I felt I wasn't getting at home. I felt I got it in the relationships I was in with men. Because I felt this was, it sounded more, more lovey-dovey than what my mom was like. Read, go to school, do this. And no, how are you feeling? Why are you sad? Why are you crying? Let me tell you, my mom used to tell me, are your feelings eggs? Why are your feelings? Honey, kila saa unalia. Kila saa you're heartbroken. Are your feelings eggs? And that used to, and it's even I still remember. So when I got somewhere where someone was addressing my feelings, I thought this must be, a nice place. And of course, one thing led to another. And the way they say, looking for love in the wrong places. That's what I was doing. And that's what many of us do. When you're at home back there and your parents are not giving you the love you think you deserve, what do? You go and look for it elsewhere. You're like, sasa, si huko ndo napata love. Wacha tu tuende na hiyo mtindo. Before you realize that, the love and support you're looking for is within yourself, or you're the only one who can truly give it to yourself, it takes a long while, to be honest. And considering I started doing the course in counseling psychology when I was 18, so when I was pregnant, I started doing the counseling course, actually. So I was 7 months pregnant when I started doing counseling psychology. And it was very, very hard. But the funny thing is that the moment I got into that class, I think in the first session, the first class, those first classes you go for, the first thing they said was your feelings are valid, or feelings are valid. And I was like, this is the right place to be. I have never, ever in my life, from 0 to 18, been told my feelings are valid. I was always being told, Esa unalia, I'll give you a reason to cry. Why are you crying? Kama ushaambiwa hivyo, si unajua how it feels. That time you're sad, someone is telling you, if you cry again, I'll give you a reason to cry. And when you're crying, you're beaten because you're crying. And it just gets worse and it spirals. So I felt really accepted. The funny thing is also, I joined the class when I was pregnant. The people in that class shout out to, I think, Mbulbul Education and Counseling Center class of what? I started that school in 2014. So to say, my class of 2016, that was a diploma I did the first time. Then I went to degree. That class, they were older than me, all of them. But I was the youngest. And not youngest ile kidogo, I was generations down. But they were very embracive. They were there for me. They took, they were the parents, the fathers and mothers I needed. And honestly, shout out. By there, I'll send you this episode and just feel appreciated, loved, and seen for what you did for me. and I don't take it for granted. So yeah, and throughout that journey as a teenage mom, I have felt loved by people outside of the home. I have learned how to love myself. I have learned how to discover who I am. I've just learned to be, my own person and know that love comes from within. You might say, yes, my parent, oh, my parent, oh, mamangu alinifanyia hivi, ndio maana niko hivi, babangu alinifanyia hivi, ndio maana niko hivi. That whole story ends at 18. Yeah, I was one of those people. By the way, I would go for therapy. I've gone for over 50 therapy sessions because of my school. When you go for counseling psychology, you have to do therapy sessions to become a psychologist. And so I've gone for over 50, maybe even 100 therapy sessions. I would just talk about my mom. It is so funny. And right now, if I go for a therapy session, there is nowhere my mother will come up, or my story, my behind story, or my family. So the fact that you can evolve to a place where now yes, my family had this kind of dynamics. Yes, these dynamics were not good for me. Yes, these dynamics affected me in this and this way. But I can still make a difference, and I can still be the best I possibly can. And by the end of the day, I got pregnant, and throughout the pregnancy, I used to journal a lot. And one thing I told myself, despite being 18 and pregnant, I'm going to be a great person. So it's good to give yourself that hope. And I believe I'm great. It may not be the great you think great is, but for me, I always say, as long as I'm doing what I believe is making an impact, and I can feel the impact, that is greatness. So no matter what your story is, remember, you are in charge. You can make a decision in the right way. No matter what happened to you that was wrong, traumatic, hard, difficult, just keep it going, and always, always tell yourself you're going to be great, and always be intentional about what you want to. So this episode and last week, I asked people a question. And I asked them this question because I thought, okay, fine. We have parent-child relationship or strained relationships with our parents sometimes. But what is that one thing that we think or they think with their parents? Because even them, they're kids to someone's parent. What do you think? What do you think is the thing that can solve that problem? So I just wanted to see, because I told you this podcast and this talk show will be very, very solution oriented. So I asked people this to just make sure that their mind is in, yeah, this happened to me, but what is the solution? What would have been done better and would have made my relationship with my parents better? And it was so interesting to read what people had to say. And if you commented on this question, thank you so much. I'll definitely share this video with you. I'm sure you're watching it, so feel appreciated. So I asked, the question was this: what would you have loved your parents to say to you or do for you to mend your parent-child relationship? I'll read it again. What would you have loved your parents to say to you or do for you to mend your parent-child relationship? And if you're watching me today, comment and tell me, what is it? What is that one thing? Because then I realized every child, when you ask them this question, they always have just one or two things. And then you wonder, okay, this one or two things, why couldn't their parent hear them out and do this one or two things and make the imperfect relationship a bit more perfect, Maybe because they didn't listen, maybe because they didn't ask, but I took the initiative to ask for you. And we're all parents. I said we're all parents, no shame, positive vibes. So the first person said they would want to hear from their parents, I am sorry. Words that have never come out of my father's mouth. He's 60, I'm 35. That was a very short answer, but it was heavy. This person, you can imagine someone saying, even the age, just the fact that she even thought of saying, he's 60, I'm 35, is how much she's like, wow. It can take this long for someone to just look at you, acknowledge your feelings and tell you, sorry. I'm really sorry. Then the second person also said, the thing they would want to hear is, I am sorry, and explain the things they do to us. Yani, this person was just like, okay, fine, you didn't do right by us. But you could have just told us sorry and explained to us, enyewe, I was broke and angry, and that's why I shouted at you this and this time. Or I was lonely and I had this relationship with this person and I couldn't really be present at home. So maybe if it's neglect, they didn't explain. And I didn't go into details of, what happened. No, I just told them to say what they wish they were told by their parents or what they think they would have been done for that would have made them feel better. The next person said, I wish my mom would lighten her heart towards us all and just accept to be home. Sad face. And let us show her love the way we know. So I think this parent went away or is unforgiving or is, absent. The mother. You can imagine your mother is absent, your mother is not forgiving. So it's now the other way around, that this mother must have had so much pain that they went away or they don't accept how their child loves them. Or they don't accept their children and have gone away. I wouldn't want to go into it so much because I didn't understand that part, but I can imagine the pain this person also wrote and the way she even put the emoji and said, I wish my mom would lighten her heart. So her mom has a heavy heart. And that's the thing. Sometimes this heaviness is carried on from generation to generation. It just passes on. So when you see your parent is passing on pain, remember even them, they've been eating, drinking, they've been living in that pain. So sometimes it's good to know that and understand. This person said, I wish my dad could have bought me a success card when I was doing my KCPE exams. They were not staying with my mom, and when he was asked to send me a card, he told my mom, Juliamua kuchukua watoto, don't ask anything from me. And she put the crying tears, the crying emoji. That thing pains me up to today. Because I heard him say that. So me, I usually wish ange apologizingi too for not supporting us when we were young. He's literally not free with us right now because hatukuwa na bond when we were kids. He only calls when he needs money. Wish we could have conversations, but forcing issues with your dad is hard than even being in a relationship. So imagining a dad, first of all, who couldn't even send you a success card. I'm just imagining a success card by the time this person was in class 8. Must have been 100 bob, 200. But this dad now, when this person starts working, they're asking them for money. And this girl was asking for those small things. Sometimes a parent can offer you such a small support that goes such a long way. And I relate with this because I realize there are those small things you ask for. Just someone asking you, how are you? Just someone buying you what you need. Just someone tuning into your needs as a child can help you feel so much better. Even you can do for them. You can go over and beyond. But a parent who is not willing to know what you need, not willing to care what you need, not willing to go the extra mile and, just do it. Even sometimes not something that is out of their reach. It's something they can do. But sometimes also our African culture, I come to think of it and say, African culture never really valued children's opinions. They were like, children are to be seen, not to be heard. I think we even did that in our psychology units, that children are to be seen and not to be heard. So a parent thinks that, you're there you're there for their gain. See, they gave birth to you. Yeah? One time you're being beaten, you're being told, I brought you into this world, I can take you out of it. So it gets to a point where you are serving their needs. But them not realizing they gave birth to another person who has their own needs that need to be met. And if anything, they had a choice to have you. But you didn't have a choice to be there, And that goes to all parents and all children because we were all children at one point. So don't feel attacked.